Hey folks, on the way to the Susquehanna. It's funny, I traveled so much this year and fished other places, and I missed fishing my home water, Susquehanna. It seems like in the last 2 weeks I'm making up for it big time. This is kind of the last day of, I don't want to say Indian summer, but it's gonna get warm. It's 44 degrees right now, but we have a cold front coming in later today, and I figured, you know what, I got vacation days to kill. Let's get up there another nice October day where get to fish this river. Man, yeah, the videography is always a challenge. I apparently left my SD card for this one at home, so I had to steal it from the dome. Always something. But yeah, it's crisp. It's not cold, but it's crisp, and I think our air temperature today is going to get up into the mid 70s, which for almost being November is it's really nice. Yeah, there should be water here, but there's not. I've already spooked, not fish, not smallmouth, but all the minnows that they eat. Let me see if I can do it again. Check these out. This is what they're eating. Go to any major ledge system, blowhead dam, whatever. They're going to be pushing them up against, you know, some barrier. Let's check this out. Look at them all. They're just piled in here. I mean, I don't know if that's showing up at all, but I'm seriously looking at thousands upon thousands of minnows. They're all about that big. Let's see if I can run them up this way. Whole thing. I mean, the entire, probably a 30-foot blob of these minnows everywhere in this skinny water. I haven't a clue if that actually showed up. But when I first walked down through here, there was like probably an 8-foot long blob of them that just looked like it was raining right there. And it was all the minnows jumping out of the water. And as low as it is, this is a safe place for them. I still see them all right there. As soon as it comes up. That's what happens in the fall, you know. Mid to late October, things are still low. What will happen, you can see there's still green on the trees, but there's a lot of orange if you look out across there. And we're gonna lose our leaves. As soon as we lose our leaves, it means there's less overall terrestrial vegetation respiration, meaning the leaves and the blades of grass and the bushes and everything. That's how they pull. That's how they pull the moisture out of the ground. And when these leaves are down, when they fall, which early November were there. Just look at the average stream flow for, let's say for wherever you are, but the average stream flow, which is like an average of years and years and years, bumps up. And it coincides with the leaves falling. So whatever rain does fall, whatever moisture is in the ground, more of it gets to the river when the leaves are down. When terrestrial vegetation across the entire watershed stops drinking water. It still drinks water, but not at the rate that it can when it respirates and does what it does through the leaves. Check it out. Look at your local stream flow that you can pinpoint when the leaves fall down. So people say, man, the river really needs some rain. I don't want to disagree with that, but really what it needs is for the leaves to drop. And you know, the rain is an uncertain thing, but these leaves coming down, it's gonna happen. And when it does, the river comes up, all those skinny spaces these minnows are hiding in are exposed. It also coincides with all of the subaquatic vegetation thinning out. And then it's a game of musical chairs. You know, the hiding places in the vegetation and the increased flow, they just eat and eat and eat and eat. And we're right at the beginning of that. So I'm using the new Torpedo Travel UL. It's the new ultralight. It's the newer version of the 1103. And one thing I already really like about it is that the skeg on the bottom is not part of the metal housing. And I don't even know what it is. It's like this soft, like, it's either a soft plastic or a really rigid rubber. It's a cool material, but when it hits rocks, it doesn't go clang and spook all the fish. It kind of, there's a thud, but it does not carry nearly the noise that, you know, that the metal skeg on the 1103 did. So, stealth upgrade. There's one on the crank. A giant, but a good one. About it with that Ryugi. He was big, like really big. I had to edit him, but the Ryugi quad hook on the tail of the crankbait, just one of them was such an amazing thing. So, I don't know, nice 15 and a half, maybe 16-inch fish. Good start. I like the preview. Really enjoyed the preview. Let's get you in the net now. Just want you to walk a little bit in my net. That's a good fish. Alright. Got him unhooked from that quad hook. Get a quick measure. I pulled him away from his friends. In case there's other nice ones in there. Yeah, he's at least 18. Closed mouth. I can't quite get you to 18 and a quarter, I don't think. Yeah, I gotta open the mouth to get you to 18 and a quarter. So 18 incher. Beautiful crankbait fish. I'm still gonna run you a little further away, just in case you got some friends that are 19, 20, 21, 22. Relinquish your lower jaw. Goodbye. Another big head shake fish. Not huge, but quality fish. So, fish in white water. When it's this low and clear, the white water masks your noisy approach. How easy that came out. Love fishing with one treble hook on a crank. It's where they're actively eating, and it's they don't see you coming because they're 16 and a quarter. You know, they're focused on that noisy, chaotic environment that they're grubbing in. There's a lot of minnows in that area, and apparently crayfish as well. That craw crank just gets them wherever. I'm gonna fish some deeper non-white water later in the day, but I'm gonna wait until the sun gets up and they want to retreat back to the deeper water. I'm gonna fish this white water as long as I possibly can. I want to run this guy out of here before I continue. All right, caught a couple fish in the same spot, a couple nice ones. I'm not going to continue to throw the crank. I'm going to mix it up and give him a little finesse look here with the 5-inch center jerk shad with the eyes. They're here. They're right there. And, you know, changing it up is just a smart move. Give them different looks. Don't keep throwing the same thing on, oh, that's a good jump. On fish that you found. You definitely want to give them different looks. Good job. Nice. All right. Again, like the previous two, we're going to pull him away. You don't need this one telling anybody that I'm here. Got this guy pulled away from the crowd. You go 19? Maybe. Yeah, you're 19. A little more than 19. But you're not 19 and a quarter, so yeah, nice 19-incher. He's got some craw poop coming out of his anus. Yeah, they've been digging on them crustaceans. All right, I don't want that in my boat. You can go now. Thanks for playing. Don't run back to your friends, please. For sure, the profile they're going to be keyed in on more than anything is the baitfish profile. This 5-inch center jerk shad. It might make sense to go with a 4 because of the size of the baitfish that I was seeing in the shallows there was a lot smaller than 5. It was probably closer to like 3. So when you find white water where they are, you're going to find certain big fish eat spots, and you want to make a mental note of where they are. And there'll be multiple. This one's not huge, but another nice fish. That's what happened in the native tournament. I got the 19 in one spot, and later in the day I went back to that spot. It had been a tough bite, and I knew, hey, if I just dead stick the 5-inch center jerk shad, eventually something big is going to swim over and look at it and be like, huh, someone left this here. I think that's for me. That's what happened. I got the 19.75 dead sticking the 5-inch scented jerk shad for like 10 minutes. Like, I set a trap. That's the phrase. I set a trap instead of enticing a bite. This one, was probably a 7-second dead stick. But when you find those spots, and I got one right here, when it slows down and stops producing, remember where it is. Remember the current feature, the rock, whatever it is right there, and come back to it. And I'm going to explore other areas where, you know, there are creases and current seams just like this one, and find other big fish eat spots. But I'm definitely going to come back to this one later in the day once I stop catching fish there, and it will happen, even though I'm taking these fish and removing them from that area directly. Decides to run at you. And you just don't know how big it is until it makes that turn. I think it's just a really, really chunky 14-incher. Check out a different area. Here too. You know, it's just white water. You gotta see where the food is. Nice. Beautiful coloration on this one. Nice 16.5-incher. So back on the crank, checking out new areas, and I like to alternate between power fishing with something and finessing it. And for sure, finessing it comes into play once I've caught a fish in a spot. With the power fishing, and really that means that I've caught a fish that's willing to aggressively eat, willing to chase, and that to me says, yeah, there's some competition going on there, and there's going to be a number of fish in that spot. Oh, had one on and off, big head shakes. I don't usually get off that crank real well. Yeah, immediately. If he has friends, they're big friends, I'm gonna go back in with that finesse. I found him. Found another concentration. Yeah, those are, I don't think these are big head shakes. You are running at me though, so it's sometimes hard to tell. Nice fish. Probably another 15er. I'll swing you in, take you away. So you don't tell your big friend I just poked with the crank. Big old log down in there. Nice place to get stopped, kind of beached up on this gravel bar. And when you're dead sticking, and I'm kind of moving it a little bit. I know someone's going to say that in order to be like, see, you don't dead stick. Now, when I'm happy, when it comes to rest, I leave it, but I move it until I can feel it kind of settle. And right now, it's settled on something, and I can just wait. I can feel the very slender, you know, lead head, as it were, banana-shaped piece of lead on the shank. It's settled somewhere, and now I just leave it alone. And there's no way to get that kind of connection if you're drifting and moving around a lot. It's tough. It is tough. I've already seen this fish jump, and it's got a big old body on it. Look how long you are. Man, you are a stout beast. too tall. Oh man, it's nice to lean back on a fish like this. It just has that staying power, you know. I think I'm gonna leave my boat here, walk down the bank, quick measure of this guy, and walk down the bank. It's a fat 17-inch fish. Alright, so I caught, that was a 17, caught an 18 and 19. That's where I'm going with this. I mean, 17, 18, 19, that'd be a 20 out there. Chilly this morning, but as soon as that sun comes up, it's gonna be a warm day. Start shedding layers. All right, as much as I like this spot here where I got my feet planted in the gravel, there's really only one eddy that I'm able to work, and they're fish that move in and out, but I've cast it out here to some of these other eddies, and I'm missing fish. I know I'm getting bites, but I'm missing them. And it really has to deal with, once your bait's out there, what kind of current is your line in once that bait hits the bottom. Let me show you an illustration to show why I need to come off of this spot right here and get out, I think, immediately downstream of each of these eddies. You know, this is a limiting spot, so I'm gonna pull anchor. But yeah, let's look at an illustration. All right, so got some ledge rock here, more ledge rock, but you have some gaps here where the current is shooting through, and we got a number of fish that are, you know, right against this current seam. I have the kind of green lines here showing the, you know, that here current seams here and here. And I'm positioned here, right? If you're doing the dead stick thing, you can absolutely keep your line taut when you present here. But you're limited to this, you know, this area here in front of you, because this is all calm water. With this current, you know, really screaming through here pretty quick, if you try to cast across and get these fish in this other calm pocket, you just can't dead stick. And even if it's tumbling, what you're going to have from the tip of your rod down to, you know, to the bait, you're going to have some curvature. And when you have that curvature and you got a fish that comes up and even jams it pretty good, it's just tougher to feel that bite. So really, you want to make sure that your casting lanes, where your line is going to lay in the water, is going to lay in slack water. So it makes sense to ferry, move across here, and then position here. Now, I liked being on that bank, and I'll probably get back on that bank in this adventure here in just a minute, but because there are a lot of active fish all through here. I wanted to fish here. When I'm not either anchored up or somehow stopped the way I was stopped there with my heels dug in, you know, in that gravel, when I get stationary and the bait gets stationary, if something's moving, it's a fish. So it gets tougher when you move out here and you're kind of free floating and using the motor. That'll help you hold position with foot control steering and such, but you're still kind of floating. And if you're moving up towards it, you're going to have from the tip of your rod, down to that bait. If you're moving towards it and you're just kind of free floating, as opposed to, as I was here on the bank, really stopped, you can, again, get that slack in the line. Makes it harder to feel. But the big concept I want you to get is screaming fast current. If you cast across it, you're not going to dead stick. You're not going to dead stick effectively. So you have to move from spot to spot. And, later I move out here into the middle and hit this spot. And the real concept is, though, that your line, when you cast out, lays over calm water if you're going to do the dead stick. That's it. Back in that eat spot again. See how big you are. That was a good one. Very good. Bet you 17 and a half. Got you. Isn't that always how it goes? See him in the water, you're like, oh, he's 20. And then you get him in the net, you're like, maybe he's 17 and a half. Nice fish that ate my 5-inch scented jerk shad. Aren't you pretty? Back to, that's a good one. Back to the other eat spot, and got a good one. Third one over 18. Just in a couple hours. So I re-rig this. Sometimes it's hard to feel the bite, but they hold on to it longer when you use the scent. And the scented jerk shad already has the Procure. I'm adding the liquid mayhem to it. It's the shad flavor, but I think the craw, they'd hold on to it just as well. But yeah, it gives you a little bit more room for error in feeling that bite when maybe you've casted across current, or maybe you're still drifting up towards it and the line isn't completely straight. If there's a little bit of slack in the line, you're not gonna feel those bites. Anything that gives them, gives you more time for them to hold on to it, and then you can feel that, hey, there's a spongy sort of feeling there. It's a good thing. Get right back to the same spot, and here's another opening. Keep cycling back through the power fishing. Got the crankbait going. Nothing happening, but you gotta keep trying it. Sometimes a school of fish will move into an area that you had fished, I don't know, half hour before. You've come back to it, and they're gonna show themselves with that crank. The crank didn't really show me this one, but I caught him. I caught one in that corner earlier. Alright, another eat spot, another good bite. Eyeball on that one. Not the pupil, but just around it has that,
real pretty turquoise kind of sheen to it. I doubt it's showing up. Whatever. Nice 16 and a quarter. Came back to another eat spot. Got another big one. Long dead stick and a very serious thump. Oh yeah, it's gotta be a good fish. Yeah, nice. Yep, thought that'd be bigger, but nice fish though. I got a nice one, but I had a freaking tank. Oh, he's trying to eat it from him. Yeah, there's. Oh, that thing's 21 plus. Not the one I got, but the one that's trying to eat the crankbait out of this one's mouth. Oh, wrong one. I just saw a monstrous fish just smash the surface right out there, and he's going after smaller bait fish. So I got this underspin. I'm gonna throw that in there. I've thrown the 5-inch Senta jerk shad into that mix, and threw the Nessie and the crankbait. Just caught one in there that he followed. If it's the same fish, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same fish, but it's one you don't have to wonder if it's over 20. It is. Absolutely is. Alright, I'm gonna tie this on. Throwing the underspin, and I actually snagged this minnow. I don't think he's gonna stay in my hands long. This is what they're eating. Yep, there he goes. Alright, you see that heavier weight on the bottom? That's 1/4 ounce. I've been throwing 1/8. I'm gonna give that a shot. It might help me feel the bites a little bit better in this heavy current. We'll see. I keep talking about leaving this area, and it's hard to, especially when you look out there and see what looks to be a, I don't know, 22-inch smallmouth hitting the surface, mouth open, like he's a baleen whale or something, just eating up all these little minnows. I mean, that's really what he did. He busted up underneath them. It's amazing. I got to get him hooked on that 1/4 ounce. First cast I made. Hard to do this fish. It's at least 18. Playing the role of Moby Dick? Are you a baleen whale out there trying to eat all the minnows? That's cool. That's progress. Catching them, I don't think I've ever caught them on the 7-inch or the, oh no, you're more than 19. Yeah, you're 19 and a quarter. I never used the heavier weight, the 1/4 ouncer on the 5-inch Senta jerk shad to dead stick it. That's pretty cool. That's new stuff. All right, let's get a dome shot of this guy going back in there. All right, release
releasing this 19 1/4 incher away from the feeding frenzy so as to not shut it down. Let's get her back in. So I think back to that illustration earlier, and yes, making sure that when your line lays down in the calm part of the eddy as it travels downstream is one approach, and that's usually what I do. But I'm casting cross current here with a heavier jig, and that's another way to do it, to actually feel the bite, not have slack in the line. The key still is to get it stopped, get it to dead stick, get it to sit on the bottom and wait. And it's working. Oh, beautiful job. Beautiful job. Use some drag here. Last one is pretty good. Alright. Well, another one I'm going to walk down the bank and release away from where they're all eating. These are they're nice fish. I always look down to come here. Yeah. Real pretty one here. 16 1/2. We'll let him go. And then let's look at what he barfed up. So that is a Mad Tom that's about 3 1/4 inches. And that's my bait, which is about 5 1/4 inches. So should I downsize? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, Mad Toms are always there, are always a good forage item for them to get at. But these are not the ones that are schooling up. I'm gonna throw that back in there. The ones that are schooling up, I think are smaller than that, but look more like that. Be boring to a lot of people, but it works, especially in this clear water. Setting a trap, not enticing a bite. Take this hand off if you got it. I like to have it there already, but I don't want to move it. And for sure with the 1/4 ounce head, it's really easy to have that straight, good, hard connection. I know it's sitting still. I can feel it. I can feel it firm. Not kind of lose some wavering. It's there. And when it's not there, it's in a fish's mouth. Whether I feel a pop or it just kind of goes mushy. Those are kind of the whole continuum of what does it feel like when they bite. Sometimes it's a pop, and sometimes you just guess, and you think, it feels weird. I'm gonna set the hook now. Alright, I took this
underspin off. I think it was a good idea. And it caught a fish, but I put the 4-inch on the 1/8 ounce head. I'm not throwing the 4, and it's closer to, you know, the size of the forage that they're attacking. And I have it on lighter line. It's a 12-pound fluoroliter, whereas the whole time I've been throwing the 5-incher, it's been on 20, which a lot of people are looking at and being like, wow, that's overkill. Not when these 20+ inch fish go diving into rocks. I'm a little bit vulnerable with the 12. 4 got some attention pretty quick. I'm going to loosen that drag a little bit. Yeah, not a huge fish, but 2 of them, one of which is a big fish in tow, following it. Come here. Yeah, there. Probably 15. Makes a difference. You know, I went a long time without catching them, and I think, you know, a whitewater spot like this that they move up to push these minnows up against, it reloads. You know, you catch a bunch of them, and if you release it right onto them, it shuts down after like 5 fish instead of like 15. But I've kept this one going. Once I've found them this time, right before I was about to leave, I kept it going. So I take him for a walk. First cast back in there, and I will tell you, the 4-incher is what I caught that giant out at Rorschach with. So it doesn't surprise me that this is a big fish. It's, oh yeah. I'm gonna keep you buttoned. I'm gonna walk this one down with him there. Yep. I don't want him to come off. Four-incher. How many 19 inches do I have today? That's another. Right at 19. All right, I've lost track of how many 19 inches I've caught today. Here's another one. They just keep coming. This one ate the 4-inch scented jerk shad. I think this is the biggest. This may be the baleen whale. It's certainly got a big fat full belly. big fish feeding station. Yes. You're like my fish in the tournament, 19 3/4. Now let's get that mouth closed. Yeah. Let's see. I thought you might get 20, but you don't. You definitely don't. Yeah, you're. Close that mouth. No. 19 and a half. It's actually bigger than 19 and a half, but I could not get this fish to go 19 3/4. But man, so many. What am I? 4 or 5 over 19 so far. They keep coming. 19 and a half. The bigs keep coming. Best day in a long time here on the Susquehanna River. So, because I've had 2 real good fish on there, I am going to go ahead and retie. I used that 20 pound in the tournament and like it didn't retie all day. But with 12, I feel like I really should. So I think it might be time to make a video on how I put the eyes on these. I'll probably do that later in the week and get that up because I get so many people that ask. I think that should tell me, yep, time for a video, Jeff. Show them how it's done. That'll go in the tackle crafting playlist. Big old jump. Another big old jump. You jump again? It's a medium light. I ask a lot of this rod, especially in this current. Yeah. I'm asking a lot of the hook as well. I should stop doing that and walk down to it. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I was talking about. I asked too much of the hook. And now I've released a fish, caught fish with its feelings hurt, back into the pool where I'm fishing. Not down there. Biggest one yet. Biggest one yet. Yes. Alright, let's put this on the measuring board. Greater than 26 inches. Yep. Personal best. See him busting up the minnows right there, and like I skip it in and rip it out and try to make it look like a fleeing. Man, there's one right just jumped out of the water there. If I move it, they don't eat it. I've kind of dragged it along the bottom, popped it, and swam it, and done all these other things to it, but they're aggressively killing these schools of fish and just going in open mouth. And I think maybe it's like after the attack they say, okay, let's pick up the broken pieces. It took like half an hour to catch the next one, and you know, it's not the class of fish that we had, you know. It's, I don't know, real nice 14.5 incher probably, but those 19s, 18s and 19s, you know, I didn't even bother like running them down because I think those big fish are somewhere else. All right, I am underway. Gonna go find some deep boulders to crank for a while. Let that area kind of settle down, and I don't know, just try something different for a while. A lot of good deep water here. Just a matter of intercepting with a couple boulders. So I've hit some very, I'd consider high value deep water targets with this crankbait. And usually if someone's home, they'll at least chase it up to the boat. I didn't see that, so I think I'm probably wasting time here doing this. Right back where I left them. Right, deserve the net. I'm just gonna put you on my feet, lift you up. Large. Austin. You're eating, I'm eating. We're all eating. You're one of the smallest I've caught all day. Off that one spot. Oh, there's two big ones there. Swinging it in. Still running them downstream. That's 17 incher. Get back up in there. As soon as I say I'm going to leave, this one says, no, I don't think you need to, because we're right here, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna eat your stuff too. Big fish. So this 17.25 hit when I was reeling it back in to go to a different spot. So maybe I just gotta swim them instead of, you know, letting them sit on the bottom. Go back in and swim. Care anymore at this point. They're feasting so hard. And I just want to get it back in because there's so many.
I don't think I'm slowing them down. The bites have slowed down for sure. But, you know, you move back and forth on the white water and you find them again, and you start catching them again. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty comfortable right here. I'm not sure that I ever should have left right here. They're back and forth, but they always come here. You need to go do something before I go. I am running out of daylight, but this is something that needs to be done. Got a chair. I also have a bicycle seat in here. And all sorts of fun river trash. How long this thing's been in the river. Look at that. All right, making the run back. I think I had about 95 inches. I think I had 5 of them 19 inches or better, and one was 19 and a half, so that's 95 inches. You usually don't get 95 inches unless the river's up or you really got it dialed in. When it's low and clear, 95 inches is not very common, but this is what we get this time of year if you can go to where there are bait balls, and there are bait balls on whitewater. That's just where they want to be. And you know, I sat on them and caught them and caught them and caught them, and then tried something else and it didn't work, and then I came back to it and then I caught them, which is just, it's exactly what you want. This was a phenomenal day, and I did learn a couple things. I'm definitely going to be pouring more of those 1/4 ounce heads on the grip pin hook. I like that. I think I may be throwing a lot of those this winter, you know, with both the 4 and the 5-inch scented jerk shad. But yeah, I got a little bit of dragging to get back, and man, what a great day. Hope you enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed fishing it. Thanks for watching.